Hi, I'm Lisa Romano, and I am a best-selling author of the book The Road Back to Me, also My Road Beyond the Codependent Divorce, and Loving the Self-Affirmations, Healing the Unconscious Codependent Belief Systems that are running your life. And today I want to talk to you about how the law of attraction can help we codependents out there and adult children of alcoholics who are trying to get our stuff together. Okay, so how does the law of attraction apply to being a codependent and the adult child of an alcoholic? Well, for anyone that's in recovery and has been in recovery for any length of time, hopefully has gotten to the point where they understand that we attract what we know. So if your parents were alcoholics, or if they were addicts, or if you saw one parent enabling the other parent, or if you saw one parent abusing the other parent, that becomes what you are programmed and conditioned to believe is the way it is in the world. And even though intellectually you might hear yourself saying, no, this is wrong, on a vibrational level, our belief systems have been programmed by what we have seen and what we have observed the authorities in our life do day in and day out. So we have to get to a point in our mentality where we understand that all of us are attracting what we know. So obviously, if what we know is dysfunctional, then we're going to attract that which is dysfunctional. We might do all the right things. We might go to school, and we might graduate from college, and we might have the wonderful job, and we might have the great house, but on an emotional and vibrational level, we're still wounded. So unless we go back in time and we understand that somewhere very long ago, our very belief systems have been corrupted, in spite of what the physical world might be showing up for us, if we have not done our recovery work, in spite of what is showing up, and it might be, all good stuff, like according to our norms, we have the car, we have the house, we have a relationship, but inside of us we're still empty, there's still something not wrong, we still don't feel fulfilled. What may be wrong is on an unconscious level, we may still have recovery work we need to do. If you feel unworthy as a human being, or you've been taught to believe that your worth is something that you need to gather from outside of self, then for the rest of your life, no matter what you attain physically, you will feel in search of something, a sense of validation from outside of self. Nothing that shows up in your physical experience will be able to make you feel fulfilled until you get to a point in your emotional recovery that you've learned that you are enough. And that takes time, but it is possible. So how we can use the law of attraction to our advantage is this. We have to understand that whatever we're emitting, we are sort of sowing. And because we know that we all reap what we sow, we have to become really, really aware, very, very aware of what we are sowing. So how do we do that? So how we do that is we become conscious of the thoughts that are running around our head. So many of us are unconscious, and what we do is we're reacting to these loops, these negative thought patterns in our head. So we look in the mirror, and I am guilty of it. We look in the mirror and we say, oh, I look so old, or oh, another wrinkle, or oh, I'm so ugly, or oh, I'm gaining weight. And our brain hears all this information, and we never confront it, most of us. We never say, well, in other words, this would be healthy. You acknowledge that you don't like the way you look, and you say to yourself, oh, I'm getting older. Oh, I have another wrinkle. And then a healthy thought would come right behind that, where you'd say, but I am getting older, and it's okay. Everybody gets older. Only the lucky are allowed to get older. Only the lucky survive, up until a ripe old age. So, wrinkles are a part of my experience, and they tell a story, and it's evident that I'm living a long life. And so we soften our idea about wrinkles. Someone who is unaware and because I'll tell you why. The reason why that's important is because if you don't soften up these thoughts that are running around in your head, you will get stuck in the vibration they're producing. And so if I feel depressed, or if I get caught up in, I have another wrinkle, or I don't look like I did when I was 25, and I let that really take hold and takes a grip inside my being, I will become depressed. I will become sad. So now my emotional standpoint is one of negativity. So now what shows up in my experience is negativity. maybe I'll get a flat tire that day, or maybe I'll get another bill in the mail. And over and over and over, I will stay in that what some people call like an upward stream battle type thinking thought process. Where opposed to, if I have a negative thought and if I train myself to stay aware, what I do then is have a negative thought and like catch it in a butterfly's net and say, no, I need to soften that up. Because if I stay in the vibration of that negative thought, only more of negative thinking and more negative experiences can actually show up. That's how the law of attraction works. So if you're the wounded adult child of an alcoholic, or the grandchild of an alcoholic, or you've had any type of trauma in your life, you have to get to a point where you understand that if you don't consciously move past feeling like a victim, you will always feel like a victim. And that's hard to say. That's hard to say, and it's even harder to hear it, but it's true. Whatever you're reaping in your moment, in your now, is evidence of what you're sowing. So if you've had trauma in your life, you really have to face it, and you have to find ways to soften it up and almost, well, make peace with it and make it, if it happened, it happened. And there's really not much any of us can do about the fact that what has happened. So we all have to get to a point, no matter what's going on in our experience, to accept what's happened, intellectualize it, feel it, let it come to the surface, and then find a way to let it go. And by doing that, you release the concept that you're a victim. And when you begin to release the idea that you're a victim, and that's hard for some of us because a lot of, codependent meetings and alike, AA meetings, everyone's kind of like claiming this, I am this wounded person. And that's great, and there's a place for that, and I honor it, and I'm not knocking it. But what I'm saying is, you have to be careful about your intent. So when you go to a meeting, your intent must be to move beyond feeling like a victim. You can't walk into a Coda meeting or an AA meeting depressed, and move out of an AA meeting feeling depressed, or a Coda meeting depressed, and expect the next day to be better. It won't change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So the concept that I want you to grab onto today, because it's really changed my life, is that you reap what you sow, but what you're reaping is unseen. You sow in the unseen. You sow emotionally. Whatever you're putting out emotionally is what you're planting in the ground. So whatever you're sowing is going to come back. So, and that is in the form of thought form, and that's in the form of emotions, and how we treat other people, and especially how we see self. So if you want to experience self in a positive way, then you must begin sowing positive thinking about self. So we want to move out of feeling like a victim and move into the idea that we can create better future realities, and move into ideas and concepts that soften, that help us transition out of negative feelings, and no matter what it is. So if you feel bad about your weight, you must learn to adopt thought processes like, that's okay, tomorrow's another day. I screwed up this day. I didn't eat what I was supposed to eat, or I ate more than I was supposed to eat, but tomorrow's another day, and I'm human, and this is new to me, but I'll get it. If I stay on course, I'll get it. And it's not about my end goal weight. It's about how many times I fall off the horse and I get back up again. And I know that this is a personal journey, and I know that if I never give up, I'll get to where I'm going. So it's about softening up your negative vibration and your negative thoughts so that you can get to where you want to go at a much faster pace. So I hope you take that to heart. I hope you visit my website. It's full of great information. It's www.healingselfesteem.com. I'm also obviously on YouTube. You found my channel. Good for you. And my books, again, are called The Road Back to Me, My Road Beyond the Codependent Divorce, and Loving the Self Affirmations. And I wish you a blessed, blessed day. Namaste.